Today, guys, we brought a vintage PDQ employee down here with us, Brigg. Thanks for joining us.
You're vintage. You're welcome.
Do you like that?
Yeah, that's good.
I've been sitting on that one for 20 minutes.
Oh!
All right. Okay. I see how this is going to go.
But
right.
before we get started, I think we have some announcements.
Yes, we do.
Kelly, what do you have for us?
Well, we have a Smart Deploy webinar scheduled for March 26th, 11 a.m. Now, we're aware that or at least I hope you're aware, Smart Deploy has a new web console for Windows, and it's very, very cool. So we're going to show you how it operates. Going to show you the ins and outs, and of course there will be questions and answers to those questions. I will put the registration link here in the webcast chat. Please register in advance because we like to know who and how many people might be showing up. I'm pretty sure there will be prizes too. So there you go. It's going to be once again March 26th, 11 a.m. Mountain Time.
Thanks, Kelly. And I've been reminded by chat that it's actually Chad Smith here from the Red Hot Chili Peppers.
Do you play?
Not Brigg.
But do you play drums? Should we test that or?
Oh no, I don't play drums.
Oh, okay. I'm just
Yeah,
checking.
I'm
checking.
I'm not into percussion.
Okay.
Too good for that.
All right. Gotcha.
Alrighty. Today we've got a great show. We're talking about first how to get into IT. What does that look like?
Why get in IT?
Well, that's a different topic.
That's an existential question.
That's like after you've been here for 5-10 years and we have a therapy session. Why?
Yes.
So you're in IT. Now what is the children's book name?
Yes.
But to get us started, Andrew, who's also joining us today, did an interview with a fairly famous YouTuber.
Mm-hmm.
Andrew, what'd you do?
Yeah, so KevTech, he has been helping people get into IT for a long time, like longer, I think, than I've been in IT. And I remember way back in the day watching his content. So got the chance to talk to him a little bit about getting into IT, taking things to the next level, and sort of the things that he's seen work for people. KevTech IT Support, famous YouTuber. Can you tell us a little bit about your channel?
Yeah. So I cover help desk, system admin stuff, a little bit of cybersecurity stuff. I created my channel because I was looking for answers online. I couldn't find anything. I'm like, let me just make a channel and then talk about my personal experience being in IT and what I do on a day-to-day basis, which is one of the reasons why I created KevTech IT Support on my YouTube channel.
You were looking for answers, and then you became the answer. Wow, that's big, man. That's pretty much what you've done here. You spend a lot of time helping people get jobs, mentoring them along that process, working on resumes. What's that like for you to be such an integral part of so many people's job finding process?
I love meeting people that watch my videos. So I went to DEF CON last year and the veterans saw me and they're like, oh, that's Kevin, that's KevTech. And I went into the room and the guys came out and just literally shook my hand and told me straight up, like, keep doing what you're doing. It's working.
One tip for someone getting into IT.
For me, it's going to be learning the fundamentals, like learning about operating systems, hardware, software, just going on the basics first, because a lot of people want to learn advanced topics, but they don't even know the fundamentals or basics. It's like building a house. Your house has to have a strong foundation. It has to be strong, otherwise the whole house will fall apart. You got to have the right mindset and the right attitude. You will get rejected a lot when you're brand new to IT. Well, once you get that first job in IT, it becomes a lot easier because experience is very important. Experience is king. Down the long run, once you get that first job, all the other jobs are going to be easier to land. That's my advice.
People have got resumes out there, and let me tell you, I've seen some. You've seen a lot more. A lot of them suck. What is one tip that people should be doing to their resumes to make them stand out, or at least not be thrown away instantly?
You want to make sure that your resume is tech related. So like it has nothing to do with IT. You have to change the resume because I had people that had given me resumes that was like 4 pages long. I had someone give me a resume that has a photo of them on the resume. I'm like, this isn't Facebook. And I had someone, skills wise, they grade themselves. Like, why are you grading yourself on your skills? Don't do that.
Earlier, you mentioned that you had somebody who was you were mentoring and they learned PDQ deploy and inventory and put it on their resume. Can you tell me a little bit about that?
Yeah. So he actually watched my videos and he did the PDQ deployment. And he actually talked about that during his job interview. And he actually was writing all the stuff that he was learning and documenting PDQ as well as one of them on the website. And he actually gave that URL, that website, to the hiring manager. The manager was looking at all the work that he was doing. And he's like, what is PDQ? Can you talk more about that? And he mentioned about patch management, software, deploying applications. The hiring manager was very impressed by that because that company, they don't really have a patch management solution. So they were looking at that, like, oh, this is very interesting. And they really liked that experience. I actually made them stand out of all the other candidates.
Hey, we'll take it. It's nice, though, in general, when you come with solutions, not problems. What's the one piece of IT advice you wish you had when you were first starting?
What really messed me up was not having a mentor, not having someone that could give me a shortcut to IT. So what I mean by that is you want to find someone that already has been through it. That already has been through help desk, system admin, cybersecurity. If you're on LinkedIn and you're active, you actually build that relationship, that rapport. Basically, if you do that really well, you could reach out to someone that already has a job that you want, and you could send them a message on LinkedIn. And can you give me 20 minutes of your time? I'll buy you a cup of coffee. I like to know how you got your job in cybersecurity. Because if you do all that, having the right mentor will be able to guide you to the job that you're trying to get.
Yeah, and it goes such a long way, reaching out to people. So many people never do it, but you'd be surprised if you send a kind, open message worded the right way. People are more often than not willing to share some kind of knowledge with you.
Don't do cold messages. Don't do that. I recommend don't do cold messages.
Yeah, no cold messages. Got it. What's the weirdest IT ticket you've ever received?
I'm working at a financial firm, a really big financial firm. I look at the ticket and I'm scratching my head and I'm looking at the ticket. I'm like, is this a real ticket? I call the whole IT team, call my manager. A manager comes up, also looks at the ticket. We're all looking at it. I'm like, that can't be a real ticket. No way. And the ticket was, I need you to buy XYZ headset for me because the Bluetooth doesn't reach when I go to the bathroom. I want to do my trades while I go to the bathroom.
Oh my goodness.
I'm like, I think we're not going to approve that. He said, yeah, we're definitely not approving that.
Oh my gosh. All right. Kevin, where can people find you on the World Wide Web?
You could find me as KevTech IT Support, Instagram, Twitter, YouTube. My website is KevTechITSupport.com. And that's how you can find me. Or you can find me on my full name, Kevin Apolinario.
Amazing. That is a great interview. Although I would have bought the headset.
Would you?
I would have bought the headset.
I was going to ask you.
Think of the productivity time that was missed, right? It's amazing. Like make trades in the bathroom.
Why not?
No, I'm just kidding. Andrew, that was great.
It was.
Thanks so much for that interview. Like what else did you guys talk about? Because those were just like clips of that.
Yeah, so we actually did a full interview for the PowerShell podcast and got into his background, where he had a pretty extensive background in the restaurant industry and kind of got started in IT a little bit late, how he got into content creation like 10 years ago, and just kind of his role in IT of getting a ton of people into it, sort of what it's like to navigate, sort of having this kind of somewhat of a celebrity in addition to having a professional career and more.
Yeah. Awesome. All right. Moving on, I think kind of piggybacking off that, we've got two hiring managers, done a lot of IT hiring in your careers. And just like you guys talked about in that interview, there are a ton of bad resumes.
So many.
Like they're
So
just like
many.
everywhere.
Yep.
So let's talk about like getting that next job, right? That you broke in, you followed KevTech and you broke in, you got your first job, and now you're looking for that next role.
Yep.
Right. You're like, all right, I did this help desk. Now I want to be a junior sysadmin, insert, whatever that next title is you're looking for. How do you actually go about doing it?
Yeah.
Because right now getting a job is really, really hard.
Yep. The job market's really bad, and it's not going to get any better. The BLS, Bureau of Labor Statistics, their prediction is that a decrease of about 3% in system administration jobs over the next 10 years, or roughly about 8,800 jobs. Now, some of that's going to be title change, like your classic system administrator job, title changes to something else like a DevOps engineer or systems engineer, things like that. But generally there's kind of a shrinking in the system administration industry right now.
Yeah. Do you think that's just like title shrinkage? Because like the work is still there to be done. It's just, you see so many new titles that are coming.
Yeah, I think it's both a title thing, and I also think that there's, I think that with cloud computing, that's still a thing, and I think that's taking a lot of the jobs away as well. Like your kind of your mid-level and lower level system administration jobs are kind of like they're going away. Your expert level though, that will always remain. You're always going to.
Yeah, so it's like it's harder to get in.
Yep.
But once you can get in and you can build skills, like it opens up a little bit more. right?
Yeah. And then there's also the other factor is that like your small mom and pop businesses where system administrators generally thrive, like the SMB, a little bit larger than mom and pop, those are being farmed out more and more to MSPs. So system administration is heading more towards the MSP market, which is fewer admins for MSPs to service the same number of clients.
Yeah. Do you think that's like a function of technology or maybe more a factor of like macroeconomic condition?
Both.
You think it's a both?
Yeah.
Okay. I think that's fair. I like,
Yep.
IT people, like, we're expensive.
Yeah.
Right. And if your business is struggling, that's typically a place you look to cut, right?
Yep.
Unfortunately.
Yeah. All right. So how do we start getting into this? Like, the video also talked about like cold messaging and LinkedIn.
Yep. So LinkedIn is always really good. So, I mean, a resume is really just kind of that old school way. And essentially the only job that a resume has is to get an interview. That's it. And essentially it's also a marketing document. And I agree with Kevin, like, don't put your picture on there. You don't need to do like the little star ratings and things like that. Like, you don't even need to use different colors or things like that.
I'm going to rate myself a 2 out of 5 on a skill on my marketing doc.
Yeah.
That's going to go great.
Yeah, exactly. Or, I'm going to rate it all 5s. It's just not, not something that's really, I find appealing. Really what I'm concerned about is quantitative data. That's really what I want. Yep. So, yeah.
So here's what we're going to do, right? You found a job posting.
Yep.
Here in our market, in Salt Lake City. We anonymized it to protect the blameless or the guilty or whatever you want.
It's a fine job.
It's a fine job.
Yeah.
We anonymized it.
Yep.
And what we're going to do is we're going to kind of group think how we'd write a resume for this posting.
Yep.
Right. We're going to show you what the posting is. We're going to show you a bad resume, a good resume, and like then the best resume possible and why it is that way.
Exactly. Yep.
Okay.
So this is the job advertisement. Like I said, it's very basic. It's got the compensation on there. It's got the title. It tells us, hey, this is what you're going to be doing. Why would you join us for this particular thing? Mm-hmm. And then education experience. And then obviously some of the qualifications. And there's actually a laundry list of things about this. So qualifications, competencies. Now, as I'm reading through this, things are sticking out like CCNA, Excel. I've got to have AV skills, audiovisual, SQL database. I'm going to be basically doing all of the IT operations. This is pretty like an old school systems administration job.
Like you are the one. You are the IT department for this organization.
Exactly.
You're going to do it all.
Yep. So, as you go through, it's just a list. Yep. Office 365 is on there, database management, security and asset management. Like it's the full thing.
Yep.
So, yep.
All right.
Basic job ad.
All right. So let's look at like what a bad resume is. And unfortunately, like these are the ones that we see most often.
Yeah.
We see these like applying for roles here at PDQ that are like this. And maybe take a second to call out like the highlighting scheme because you did some work here.
I did, but let me start out with just saying like my biggest pet peeve about every single resume that comes across my desk that I look at. Please do not provide a job description inside of or like a bulleted list of the things that you do on a day-to-day basis or even the things that you're responsible for.
Yeah.
I know that you're a system administrator. You're applying for this position. Don't tell me what it is that you're doing. Tell me how well you did what it was that you were supposed to do on a day-to-day basis. Provide me some quantitative evidence. You can even provide some qualitative evidence if it's big. All right. So going back to the highlighted here. So what I've done is I've basically said, or I've highlighted any word or phrase that's the same within that job advertisement that we just looked at. So system administrator, that's it. So your objective.
The reason for that is like twofold, right?
Yeah.
Like the first one is, you want to show that you demonstrate like, I'm applying for this job, but just like chat saying, like ask ChatGPT. Guess what? Hiring managers, recruiters are also using generative AI, right? Mm-hmm. So if you're not matching what's on the job description, you're likely getting filtered out before a human even sees it.
Yeah, you'll get you won't even get a rejection letter generally. Like an AI bot will just sit there and just scan it and just discard it.
Yeah. So we got to really be writing resumes tailored to job ads.
Mm-hmm. Exactly.
Okay.
So as you can see, if we scroll down, there's not a lot here that's shared between the job advertisement and this. So this would be like a spray and pray type resume. You're just sending it out on Indeed as much as you can. By the way, don't do that. But you're sending it out to as many people as you can, just hoping for a hit. Yeah. Like actually spend some time to actually tailor this to the particular job.
And there's nothing quantitative on this.
No, there's nothing. This is a job description. And it's frustrating. It's frustrating even to look at it. Yeah. But and another thing too is that with whenever you're applying for a job, if you can, try and find the job that is on Indeed, Monster, whatever job board you're using. Try and find that on the actual website and apply through the website itself. Don't try to do it through Indeed. Not only does it change the formatting, which shouldn't be important because it should just be a very standard basic resume, but it shows that there's some initiative there of at least going to the website and doing it this way, and it's not like kind of just a group or a cast a wide net effort.
Yeah. The other benefit there is how many ghost jobs do you think exist on those big job boards?
So
that are just harvesting data, like PII, contact data.
Yeah, there are some estimates that are like 60 to 70% of most of the jobs on some of these larger job boards are ghost jobs, depending on the job itself.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
So we all like try and protect our email, our phone. Like, who wants more spam? But it's like just like blanket applying to this stuff. You're just giving it away again.
Yep. And I know that there are some like suggestions out there when you're looking about resumes, like, hey, make sure and put all the keywords in like white text and so it doesn't show up and everything. Like, you'll see this on Reddit every now and again. That's a bad idea. Don't do that. Just do the work. Make your resume simple. Remember what its job is supposed to do is to get you an interview, and just keep it that way. Because you can do all of these things and still make it apply.
Yep.
All right.
Should we go to the better resume?
Yeah.
Okay. So here's the next step up. Here's an upgrade.
Yep. So now I'm actually using some of the keywords like the CCNA, POS systems, database, automation tools, security, innovation, frameworks. And then I'm also applying these to some sort of like quantitative data that's down here. So I've got like, hey, these are the things that I've been doing that are relational, and I'm showing like how good I've done these particular these tasks. And so, and I've got, it's relatively simple, but it also has all of the words that I need to use in order to go ahead and get by the AI bot, as well as show any sort of like HR person, oh yeah, this person has the skills that are also in this. Because that's the first part.
Like if you think about the hiring process, right? The hiring manager who likely knows what these skills are, isn't even going to get your resume until it's been through probably some type of generative AI screen, a recruiter screen, and then it gets to you. So like this really is getting you in the door. Like the objective of this is just get you an interview.
Yep. That's
but
it.
Brigg, how do I know that you're not making this up? How do I know that you were 30%?
There's no way to tell. There's no way to tell. But I will tell you that if the main job is to get an interview, and then you take this resume, and then you're in an interview, and I'm interviewing you, and I start asking about some of the questions about like, okay, so how did you reduce or how did you increase system efficiency by 30%? Or walk me through this 99.99% uptime. How did you do that?
Yep.
I'm going to know pretty fast. Like that's the thing about system administrators, especially as we move into management, is that we have very sensitive BS meters, very sensitive. And so we're like, I don't think that was accurate.
Yeah, and that's almost like, that's the worst thing you can do. Lying here and getting caught in a lie, that's almost like you're done.
Yeah.
So
like
don't
instantly.
lie here.
Don't lie here. And there's a question like, how did you get that quantitative data? Which I think leads us into this next thing.
I want to know.
Brigg is, you've called it what? Like the master resume. And I picked this up from you, and I think it's brilliant.
Yep. So a master resume is essentially everything that you've done throughout your career for the last, say, 7 to 10 years is down. You put everything down in here, what you've done, and you try and make that as quantitative as you possibly can. So this is these are objectives or statements, summary statements. They're a variety of different things. If you're seeking a management position or or more programmatic position or classic system administration, and they're just templates. And then you take that information and you look at every job ad and you say like, okay, well, I've done this, 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 and this. And then you apply those particular things to that tailored resume. And this is your master list. So I'm just like, okay, well, if there's something about Office 365 in there, I'm going to include that. If there's something about Exchange, I'm going to include that. If there's something about like reducing like budgetary spend or efficiency or, hardware management or life cycle reporting, those are all things that you would then take from this master resume and plug those into your tailored resume. And then add in keywords as you see fit that are applicable to your experience. And then that becomes that tailored resume. So much better than like a pray and spray kind of sort of ideology towards like resume and job hunting. You're actually saying like, hey, these are jobs that I want, and these are the jobs that I'm willing to go for. And then you follow that up with like Kevin said, with like LinkedIn, try and build your networking up there. Find out who the hiring manager is. I know that he recommended not doing any sort of like cold messages, but if you can find out who the hiring manager is, it might be good saying
if it's the appropriate time, right? If they're the hiring manager, they're actively running a process.
Yep.
That's an appropriate time for a cold message.
Yep. Oh, and I wanted to cover cover letters.
Yeah.
Oh, what? Yeah.
Before we get there.
Oh, sorry.
That master resume.
Yes.
If you're an IT manager, or if you like are reporting to an IT manager, how to build this list, because this master list is kind of hard to build.
Oh yeah, this is
When it's performance review season, if you are an IT manager, when you're writing that performance review, write it for your team in a way that they can just copy paste into this. Because it sucks to try and remember like all of the things that you've done over 10 years. But if every review cycle that your business is already running, if you're dumping stuff into here, not only is it like accurate, but it's also usually qualitative or quantitative, like detailed.
Yep.
Right?
Yeah.
If you're not an IT manager, but you're also like receiving a performance review, when you get that, do the same thing. Use those performance reviews to build this master resume to go forward. And then you're constantly like keeping that fresh as you're running through your performance review cycle.
yeah,
That's smart.
so smart. Yeah, to make sure as a manager you're doing that, and if you're not a manager and you're receiving those, yeah, just absolutely essential.
Okay.
Yep.
Talk to me about cover letters.
All right, so cover letters, just a little side topic. If they're asked for, definitely do them. If they're not asked for, you don't need to do them. But if you do them, make sure you do it right, and do it very similarly as you would tailor a resume. Make sure that it includes the same number of words, or not the same number, but the same words that are used in the job advertisement. And actually like tell them like, hey, listen, I'm the best person for the job because I have experience in all the things that you need, which is A, B, C, D. Just go down the list. Make it short. Some of them are very long. I will tell you, no one reads a long cover letter if it's longer than a paragraph. The whole thing is like, it should be like short enough to be like interesting, but long enough to cover the subject. That's really the key. And it should be just about a paragraph. So yeah, don't make it long.
I'm loving this.
Also, and use AI. There is absolutely zero reason why you shouldn't be if your prompts are good and you know how to use AI, just use it to write.
Use the tools that are at your disposal.
Exactly.
There's no shame in it.
Nope, not at all. Yep.
Cool. Alrighty. Do we have any questions, Kelly? Do we have any questions that come in? I try to keep up with chat.
We've got the best
Did we
resume.
look at the best?
Yeah, we have a
resume?
best resume. We got
That's right.
more.
We have the best. We have the best.
Yeah,
Like,
we have
all right.
better. Now we have
Okay,
best.
Show me like, look at how much like green. is in
Yeah.
here.
So now with this particular one, there are more than twice as many words in the professional summary. And you could call this subjective. It doesn't really matter what you call this. It's the same thing. And so this will absolutely not only get through like an AI recruiter bot, but it will also like be like, oh, okay, these are all the things that I felt were the most important for this particular job.
This resume is almost guaranteed to get to a hiring manager.
Yep.
Like this is checking the box for an AI summary and a recruiter.
Yep. And it's very simple. Like as you see, like I don't have to like spend a lot of time. There's not a lot of like paragraphs here. It's all very short and sweet. I'm providing just enough information for the hiring manager to be able to make an assessment. Like, oh yeah, this fits all of the things that we're looking for with this particular person or for this particular candidate.
Yeah.
And then the technical skills. Some people put this at the top. I don't really, so long as you make it a table, I think that's okay. But I really do think that it's just much better to have that at the bottom as a long list. But that's purely just to kind of, it doesn't matter to me. Like if I'm reading a resume, I don't really care. My preference is always to put this at the bottom.
I'm curious both of your opinions. Like all these resumes, there's not a ton of formatting in here, right? Like you see some of these resumes that come in and they're actually really pretty to look at.
Beautiful.
Does it matter? Is it worth the effort? Or do you care more about the content than the actual form?
If I were hiring for a graphic designer role, then my expectation for that resume should be like part of your portfolio. Like there should be a consistency, an artistic consistency. IT is not that. So I'm just very interested in your ability to communicate. And by the way, just a side note, never have spelling errors in your resume.
Oh, that's
or
a game
grammatical
over.
errors. You can do dangling modifiers and things like that. Like those weird grammatical stuff. That's fine. Ending a sentence in preposition is probably okay. But really, like grammar and spelling, especially in IT, where because there's always got like able to communicate effectively. That's not effective communication. And have a couple of people read it. Have a couple of your friends like look it over first and make sure that like, okay, yeah, this makes sense. And it's grammatically and accurate spelling. Yeah, important.
I'm really just enjoying Brigg's take. I love it.
There's a lot of hot take inside.
I know.
Oh,
like
they're
it.
just real.
Yeah.
It's just real.
My spicy take is I want a one-page resume. I don't want to look through 17 years of your experience. I want the skills on the left. I want everything concise. So that's my preference. I like it on the left. And then I don't want your history. I don't want 17 years.
Oh, yeah.
Bullet point it for me. But I
10 years
like
max.
everything that he said.
Well, this is more than one page, so I'm curious. Like,
Yeah.
should I then kind of fudge around with the margins to make sure that it gets it there? Should I put everything on like one line?
Well,
This
yeah,
is a 2-pager.
my resume is one page. All my skills are on the left, and it is what you said.
So yours is a more designed.
Mine is very designed.
Okay.
Yes, but I just don't want to look through 17 pages. I've literally seen a 7-page resume, and I'm like,
Oh,
oh,
yeah.
Oh, yeah, I
God,
don't.
how's
I
it meant to
won't.
me?
Yep.
But I think everything you said is fantastic.
Okay.
Yeah, I mean, like basically, once it gets into like HR or a hiring manager, the average time that somebody spends on a per resume, since there's so many of them, is about 10 seconds.
Yeah, exactly.
And so, like right here, 10 seconds, I've got like all of the words that I need. So
Yeah.
Okay.
Alrighty. We got a job now.
Yeah.
So now we got a job. And now we want to do some really cool stuff with PowerShell, the things we're actually really excited about. So here to help us with some really cool stuff with PowerShell is Andrew Pla.
PowerShell Pro Tips.
Every time it gets me, I love it. All right, Andrew, what are we doing today?
What are we doing today? You know what? We're doing what any successful IT person will do at some point in their careers. And that, Josh, is borrowing from the work of others. Stealing, some may call it, but we call it collaborating. And I have a
Efficiency.
very exciting script. Exactly.
Yeah, love it.
So-
All right.
Yeah, let's check this out. So going back a little bit, earlier this week, Drew's like, hey, get us a segment on PowerShell. We love PowerShell here. And I'm like, okay, you want it to be like a roast? You want me to get good scripts? And he says, do whatever you got with whatever you get. And the first submission I got blew me away. So there's no chance I can even roast this script. In fact, I'm just kind of announcing that it exists. It's published to the internet for the first time. Thanks so much to Gackamore, who's a PowerShell legend. I think he won the award, the Discord award last month. The same person I was fortunate to get to meet in person, put together a script that will clean up the Windows installer directory. So I don't know if you all have ever had, if you've ever had those machines that they're kind of old, they don't have a ton of disk space left. Over time, since they're older, there can be like a bunch of orphaned MSI files. And this script goes through, it looks for those, looks for MSP files that are orphaned, and allows you to sort of get control of that in your environment.
Yeah, for those that at home that aren't aware of like the Windows installer directory, every time you install a Windows installer package, whether it's an executable unpacks an MSI, it leaves a copy of that. And it keeps that for reference on the machine itself, and that directory can just bloat like crazy. And the fun thing is like the built-in Windows utilities like disk cleanup don't actually go in there and look. So this is a needed tool, especially if you got machines that are around for a while.
I can run this at home.
Yeah.
You definitely can. Now, Brigg, I love how you're eager to run a tool you just found off the internet. Hold your horses, Brigg. Okay?
Just send it.
For teaching people. All right?
This is why I have an IT department.
You just said it came from someone that you know. I'm just going to run it.
But Brigg is, we got layers of trust, all right? It's a third-party trust here. So, Brigg, what I'd say is just pay attention to the segment before you run it in your environment.
Okay,
because I'm going to give you something right here, right now that's going to help you. All right, under the parameters, when we go to run the script, under the action type, you got 3 options: audit, delete, or move. If you just want to look at things, we will just audit. It'll just go through and tell you what files it would get rid of. All right, Briggs, does that sound safer for you?
Yeah.
Right.
I feel safe.
Yes.
And then just don't use delete, I'd say. The other option is delete or move. So move will just kind of move them to somewhere else. So if there's an issue, you can restore, because there could potentially be an issue if you get rid of a certain file. It can make it hard to uninstall things. I don't know. There are potential issues. So be cautious. Don't just blast this out to every single machine in your org. Be a little smart with it. Give it some testing. And I am very curious to hear from people who use this in the community, because this is actually replacing an old tool that was loved. As you can see right here, Patch Cleaner. That was basically a VBS script from like 2014 that was never updated, that a ton of people used. VBS is going away. So Gackamore took it upon himself to compile a bunch of solutions from a bunch of different places in order to give us sort of a PowerShell replacement for that.
Yeah. In the chat right now, Andrew, I just want to call this out. People are saying, hey, package this thing right now. If you want to run this and connect right now, you can grab this script as an install file, and all these parameters that Andrew's talking about, just throw them in the parameters. It's packaged right there for you. It's the parameters and the one upload of the one PS1, and then you've got it. Or you're probably going to be faster than we are.
Yep, definitely that. And also, I would say check out the excluded products right here. So if there are some products that you know in your environment for one reason or another, you don't want to get rid of, you can manually edit that here. But yeah, I'm very curious. If we get a good feedback, maybe we can pass this on to maybe the content team or some other team at PDQ to maybe spread this out.
Yeah. Cool. Andrew, that is a fantastic script. Thank you for finding it. And Gakamore, if you're on, thank you. That is absolutely wonderful. Everybody, I think, thanks for joining us today.
Yes.
This was a great discussion. I know it's not like the most fancy like IT topic, but it's important and relevant for all of us, right?
Yeah.
Always keep your resume updated because you never know when that next opportunity is going to come knocking.
Exactly.
Right. All right, everybody. For PDQ, I'm Josh.
I'm Tara.
And I'm Brigg.
Thanks for joining our webcast today. Do us a couple favors, like and subscribe to our YouTube channel. Leave us your comments, and please join us on Discord. That's where all the fun is happening. All right, have a fantastic week, and we'll see you back here next time. Bye-bye.